So, all right, welcome back on another episode on website development and Android development for absolute beginners. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through on all the tools that you need to actually get started to design websites and to design Android apps, even as an absolute beginner. So you're going to follow this all through from beginning to the end, and by the time you're able to set up this by yourself following this guide, then you'll be able to start your Android development career or your website development career. Or your website development career. All right, let's get started. All these tools can be gotten through the links available in the video description if you cannot see the link on the screen. So the first software we're going to be downloading is Visual Studio Code. The link to download this is in the video description. And make sure that you have actually downloaded for your operating system. If you're operating on the Windows OS, just click on this button to download for Video OS. So once I click on this, I'll be able to actually download for my version of Windows. And you can decide to use any of these if you don't want to use the zip version. All right. If you are using Ubuntu or any other one, just click on the operating system that suits the ones you're using so that you'll be able to download, and immediately it will start up in your download manager. You'll be able to see that this is downloading already. All right, so if you have downloaded that, let's move to the next one, which link is also available in the video description. So the next thing we'll be downloading is JDK, the Java development kit. So make sure that you are downloading the latest version, and if you're using Windows operating system, just navigate to the window. If you're using Mac, just move to Mac, and if you're using Linux, just move to Linux. So you'll be able to download the right package for your operating system. All right, so for me, I am using Windows, so I'll just navigate to Windows, and depending on your system architecture, so these are x64, so you want to download that if your Windows is on x64. So, and like I used to recommend that when you install your Windows, make sure that it is on the x64 architecture. So you can download any of these. Actually, there's none that is not okay. This one is just the exe file, this one is the zip file, this one is the MSI file. So I used to recommend that you download either the MSI or the x64, especially for those of you that have antivirus installed on your system and you know your antivirus could delete this software anytime. So it's better you go for the zip version or the MSI version. So for now, I'm going to be downloading the MSI version, and I can zip up that later. Okay, so that's the second software that we are downloading. And the last one that we're going to download is Android Studio. This is where we'll be doing all of our Android development, all of our coding, and all of that. So the next one is to download the Android development, just like you can see on screen here. So this is my Android development. So just click on this download Ladybug option. The moment you click on download, it begins to download. I have this downloaded and installed on my system already. So if I go to Windows and I type in Android, you can see I have Android Studio installed already, and it is the latest version. So I don't want to download that again, but I will just walk you through for the sake of this tutorial. The installation process is all the same. It's all the same. So let's just go through it. Okay, let's see. This is still downloading. The moment I have this downloaded, so let's start with the VS Code user setup. So let me just click on the software, go to wherever you have downloaded it, and open that software. So it should come up in this manner. Click on I accept, click on next until you have this installed. The moment you click on install, it will install the software on your system, and you have something like this. Okay, you're going to have something like this, a blank page. Actually, you won't have all of this that is open on my own tab. You just have a blank page. None of this will be available also for you. It will just be a blank, and that is that. So the moment you have that, the next thing you want to do in Visual Studio is to come to this panel here that says extensions. So when you come to extensions, you are going to install these ones that you're seeing on the screen. Excuse me. You're going to install HTML, CSS support. That is one. You don't need this Jupyter for now. That is just for Python. You don't need this. Then you're going to install Live Server. The reason for installing Live Server is so that the moment you initiate a particular changes on your web, you don't have to reload before you see it. It's come up live. So you're going to install HTML, CSS support. Don't worry, I will list them in the video description so that you can know the right one to install. You're going to install Prettier, code formatter, and lastly you're going to those are the three you're going to install. Actually, for now we're going to stick with those three. So HTML, CSS support, Live Server, and Prettier. What's the function of Prettier? Prettier makes your code more easily to decode and understand. It gives them some kind of coloring that allow you to be able to format your code in a style that you can easily understand each tags and each element without having to begin to move around from left to right, thinking where did this start, where is the shard of this, and all of that. So let me just show you what I mean by that. So if you look at this, you can see this section is in blue, and you can see section and section is showing this line. So let me know that this is where this section ends. This is another section, and it's showing a trace line to make me know this is where it ends. This div, this is where it ends, and all of that. Remember, I said this course is going to be for absolute beginners. You have never coded in your life. You don't even understand any syntax. You don't understand a single thing in this line of code. Don't worry, I get it covered. So that is what we'll be focusing on. So this is for the VS Code. So the next thing you want to install is the JDK that we downloaded. The same process, just click on the JDK and okay, when you see this kind of prompt, just click on OK, because Windows might prompt you that the MSI may be a virus file, but don't just mind, just go on. And if you have issue installing the MSI file, just use the use the zip file. So you just click on next as usual, and you can see this is already installing on my system. Actually, I don't want to install this because I have it installed already, but this will only override the previous version that I have. So once you have this installed already, the next thing you want to do is to set it up in the environmental variable area. Okay, so I will create a video on how to do that for you, and you so I can decide to say no to stop this installation, or yes to upgrade it to this latest version. For now, I'm just click on no because I actually don't want to install it, just like I've said. So once you click on yes on your own part, it will install the JDK and you have it completely set up for you. So the next one is the Android Studio installation. It follows the same prompt. The moment you click on the downloaded file, you click on next, agree some terms, and go all through, and make sure that you are connected to the internet because it needs to download some dependency like the SDK, software development kits, and so many other things that will make it work together for you. So the moment you are done with the installation, you have something like what will pop up now on my screen. Okay, you're going to have this like this, and it will be able to load up. You can say I'm using Ladybug. That is why I could not download it again. So now you won't have the kind of project that will have open. You have an empty area. Like, let's take this now. I'm going to go back to create a new project so that I can show you exactly what you'll be having once you set up your your Android Studio. So let me go to a new project. So this is what you have after you're done installing all that is required. So when you get to this part, don't do anything. Wait for the next section of this video where we'll be creating our first Android app that is functional. I mean, an app that actually works. We are not just going to be creating an app that display A and B, 1 plus 2. No. We're going to be creating a real app. So let's just get to this point. So let's just move on from this point and just upgrade one or two things. All right, so the next thing is to make sure that we have checked that all that we have talked about has been installed. Make sure that you have installed Visual Studio Code. Make sure that you have installed the JDK, that is the Java Development Kit, and make sure that you have installed Android Studio. So once all this has been set up, the next phase of this tutorial is going to be where we'll be creating our first version of the website we earlier talked about. So we are going to start with the header, because the most important part of a website, the first part of the website is the header, followed by the hero section and other parts of the website. So we are going to see how we can encode that, and later in another version of this video, whatever we have encoded using HTML and CSS and JavaScript, we are going to create them using develop what's called page builder like WordPress, like Elementor in WordPress, and you see that what we code for several hours in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, we can actually achieve that in WordPress using Elementor in 30 to 45 minutes. All right, if you enjoyed this video and you are so much into it, please hit the like button and press the subscribe button if you're yet to subscribe. I will see you in our next episode. Thank you and do have a wonderful time.